The stories of Jonas Salk and Adam Clayton Powell teaches us that education is very valuable and it can be used to help others in the community.
1916s and onwards, the polio epidemic was seen in at least one region of the United States per summer. From one epidemic alone, 3,000 deaths occurred, which resulted in the closure of many public areas due to the spread of the disease. No one would have guessed that the answer to the polio epidemic would lie in this boy, of the name Jonas Salk.
Jonas Salk was born on October 28, 1914,
who at the time was studying at Townsend Harris High School. He wasn't much of an athlete, but he was very studious and devoted his time mostly to studies. From a young age, Jonas Salk had the dreams to become a lawyer. His mother wanted him to take a more practical approach on life, so he decided to pursue the sciences, especially chemistry. He was very interested in the physical aspects of life, and so he wanted to become a doctor. In order to pursue his medical career, Jonas Salk attended NYU School of Medicine after finishing studies at City College of New York.
As he grew older, like any person, he had big dreams, hopes, and aspirations. He went on to become the creator of the first successful polio vaccine. With his invention, he took pride in the fact that he not only eradicated a virus that affected men, women, and children, but that he could also help erase the fear that consumed everyone from his time.
Who owns the patent on this vaccine?
Well, the people, I would say. There is no patent. Could you patent the sun?
As Adam Clayton Powell Jr. entered the life of a Harrisite, like regular adolescents of this age, his affection towards girls blossomed. Not too much is known about his life during his time at Townsend Harris, but what is known is he played for the school's basketball team. Instead of focusing on studying during his first year of college, he continued focusing on his social life instead of school. As expected, his grade reflected his effort. Unexpectedly, at the same exact time, his most beloved sister, Blanche, died. Deeply affected by this tragedy, he gave up on all his responsibilities and his interactions with other human beings. He was going down a path similar to his father's, which is reckless and careless. One summer, he worked as a bellboy for Abraham Lincoln's son, who was extremely racist. If a black person were to touch his car, he would hit them in the knuckles with a cane, but since he looked white, he was able to get extra pay for working for Abraham Lincoln's son. To gain even more money, he would sometimes sell bootleg whiskey and wine at the school campus. During a trip back home, he fell in love with a nightclub dancer and a Broadway actress whom he called Bunny Girl. When Adam's dad found out his son was dating a nightclub dancer, he showed strong disapproval of his son because he wanted Adam Jr. to become a minister just like himself. Adam Jr. was finally convinced in becoming a minister instead of pursuing his medical career, but his interactions with Isabel, Bunny Girl, continued. In 1930, Adam Jr. graduated from Colgate University and was poised to pursue a career in ministry, which was a dream for Adam, who just years ago couldn't even focus on his schoolwork.
After Powell graduated from Colgate University in 1930, he returned to Harlem, meanwhile earning a master's degree in religious education from Columbia University. During this time, he organized food runs, shoe handouts, and church dinners on behalf of the Emergency Work Bureau's small budget. He became well known in the community for his dedication to organizing events like these, which helped boost his popularity.
Every human being has the right to protest. This is what I have been doing, and this is why I'm in the place that I am today.
After his father's retirement in 1937, he became the new pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church, with the church's congregation growing to over 10,000 members, focusing on issues related to discrimination and employment and government services. He used his position and privilege to stand up for and work for change. He headed the Don't Buy Where You Can't Work campaign, This campaign succeeded in opening up jobs to African Americans in New York stores, companies, and buses.
I thought I'm right. He'll fight my battle, and I'll be free someday. Stand together, children. Work together, children.
In 1942, he founded The People's Voice, a newspaper dedicated to civil rights of the time, specifically made for African American rights in New York City. In 1941, Powell was elected to the New York City Council as the city's first council member of African American descent. In 1944, Powell was elected as a Democrat to the congressional district, including Harlem, as the first congressman elected from New York State of African American descent.
Jonas was able to accomplish so much due to how much he valued the importance of education.
Adam Clayton Powell Jr. also had fought against a major issue that affected many people of color when running for the United States Congress.
Adam, who started to realize the importance of education in his college years, had started to make change and was able to advocate for issues he believed in.
We see the same values in the community of Flushing as well. Flushing as a whole seems to value education a lot since they have many educational institutions, such as tutoring centers, libraries, and schools. The same is even seen in Townsend Harris.
Students of the school aspire to graduate and go on to prestigious colleges and accomplish great things, like the alumni. As of the class of 2016, who a number went to Harvard University, Brown University, and Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education.
We can see that the importance of education is very present in the community. In addition, from the stories of Jonas Salk and Adam Clayton Powell, we also see a common theme of perseverance and determination in both of them.
He was very determined from the beginning of his childhood with his studies and to make his parents proud. One could say he was an overachieving student.
He had been looking for a laboratory to conduct his research in, and was granted one at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. Now, this was a very small lab, and the rules established by the school were very restrictive. Nevertheless, Salk had persevered and had conducted a bit of research, and went on to receive more grants for further research.
Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. is a great example who embodies these very traits. In college, he used to party a lot, and didn't focus on studies much. But after the passing of his sister, he changed schools since he had flunked out of CCNY. He became more determined to do better at his new school.
Adam had persevered through the tough times in his life, such as the death of his sister and the frequent bullying from classmates, due to his racial status. However, he managed and continued on to do many great things throughout his life.
The same values can be observed of the students of Townsend Harris High School. The students are determined to better themselves and persevere through all the challenges that they face.